Hey, so do y'all remember back when I was covering the 3 female teachers, former teachers from St Tammany Parish that had been arrested for, I can't say it because the video views will get suppressed, but y'all know. Well, we have some updates. Sorry, I had to put the baby to bed. The first of the 3 teachers is Ariana Kadinger. She was a teacher in Pearl River. She was originally charged with a felony and some misdemeanors. The felonies were dropped. She pled guilty to the misdemeanors around like April 24th-ish. My understanding of the filings is that she was trying to get her cell phone data suppressed, and when she found out that it wasn't going to be and it was going to be entered into trial, she entered her guilty plea. To the best of my knowledge, she will not serve any jail time. There are some stipulations of her guilty plea that I will make public as soon as I can verify that they're public, because, you know, I don't want to get sued. Next up is Alexa Wingerter, former teacher at Slidell High School. She was arrested not once but twice in St Tammany Parish, and the second time she got to take her best friend to jail with her. Her best friend being Shelby Cav. We'll talk about her in a second. So what's interesting about Alexa and Shelby is that they were not originally scheduled to go to trial together, you know, because they are charged with separate offenses with separate victims. But after their first trial, pre-trial date was rescheduled, all of a sudden they became scheduled on the same date for pre-trial and for trial in the same courtroom with the same judge, and that happened twice. Well, this last reschedule, because we're now on our 3rd reschedule, they're scheduled separately. Leave it to St. Tammany Parish. In the court records that are available online, you can purchase them for just a couple of bucks. It identifies each of their victims by initials, so we know that their victims were not the same. So why they would be having trials on the same date in the same courtroom, I don't know. If y'all know, let me know. Me and my best friend both robbed banks, but we robbed 2 separate banks on the same day. Do we get to go to trial together for said robberies? I don't get it. There are rumblings that homegirl was offered a plea deal and that she had until her last pretrial date to accept that plea. Now, obviously, she didn't accept it in its entirety because she has another pretrial and trial date set on the books for right now. But what I would guess is happening is they're behind the scenes hashing out maybe the terms and conditions that go along with that plea. I don't know. That's just my guess. Also, side note, if one person sends me information, obviously I'm not going to repeat it. I vet it, and it's got to be credible in appearance, and I've got to hear it from like double-digit number of people before I decide if I'm going to speak on it. The reason I think they're expecting her to accept a plea is because I think a plea has not been offered to Shelby, and that's why her date is now pushed out farther and she's no longer aligned with Alexa. But that is just my speculation. I also speculate that she will enter a plea, even if one is not offered to her, if Alexa takes a plea. It's just my guess, because again, cell phone data doesn't lie. And if they've got enough on that one, they probably got enough on this one, because they were in cahoots, allegedly. All right, now real talk. All of the dramatics and the theatrics out of the way. The alleged victims in these cases are someone's children. Okay, I wasn't a mom when I started covering this case, but I am a mom now. And how women who are mothers, because all 3 of them are mothers, how they can find themselves in a position to even be charged with these kind of offenses is beyond me. Now, I can speak in certainty on Ariana because she has now entered a guilty plea, okay? You are a mother, and you were in a trusted position over a vulnerable and impressionable youth population. Now, there are people out there who are going to say, those kids knew what they were doing. They were old enough to know right from wrong. They were the adults in this situation, okay? Let's think about the dumb shit that we did when we were teenagers. I am so glad that I did not have lifelong ramifications for some of the decisions that I made when I was 15, 16, 17 years old. Now, for Alexa and Shelby, they are innocent until proven guilty. These are just allegations. We will leave it at that.